The Marvel Cinematic Universe is heading towards one of its most ambitious projects yet, Avengers Secret Wars. It is based on one of the biggest crossover events in comic book history, and this film has the potential to redefine the MCU. Okay, maybe not redefine, but re-improve it. Anyway, while Secret Wars could be a massive success, it is also a huge gamble for Marvel. Since Endgame, the MCU has struggled with declining box office returns, mixed fan reactions, and a general feeling of a franchise fatigue. With the stakes so high, Secret Wars could either be the ultimate comeback or the final nail in the coffin for the MCU. So, why is this movie such a massive risk? Well, let's break it down. The challenge of topping Endgame. Let's be real. Avengers Endgame was a once-in-a-lifetime event. It was the culmination of 11 years of storytelling, bringing together nearly every major character for an unforgettable finale. It delivered emotional payoffs, massive battles like this one right here, and satisfying conclusions for major heroes. Okay, maybe not satisfying because, Tony Stark dying wasn't that super fun, but hey, someone had to be sacrificed. So, the problem? Secret Wars is supposed to be even bigger, man. Marvel is betting that Secret Wars will surpass Endgame. But how do you top the ultimate superhero crossover? If the movie fails to deliver on the hype, it could leave fans feeling underwhelmed, especially after years of build-up. And maybe now you're asking, why does it have to top Endgame? Well, because Secret Wars is literally like a cosmic event, where they're in space, fighting super evil guys, which they're doing in Endgame. I don't know what this sentence was, to be honest. Moving on, we have the multiverse mess aspect of it. One of the biggest risks with Secret Wars is the multiverse itself. The idea of multiple universes colliding is cool in theory, but let's be honest, the MCU's handling of the multiverse has been inconsistent at best. Some projects like Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home used it really well, sort of. Spider-Man No Way Home is a bit overrated. Anyway, movies like Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness left fans a bit confused or disappointed. So the multiverse is tricky because it can make stories feel less personal when alternate versions of characters just pop in and out all the time. It also creates too many loopholes. Like, why didn't they just bring back another Tony Stark? Maybe that's forbidden, I don't know. Anyway, if not handled well, it can feel like lazy storytelling rather than meaningful stakes. If Secret Wars leans too hard on the multiverse without grounding the story in real emotion, well, then it risks turning into a messy fan service driven spectacle. Can Marvel win back its audience? I mean, let's be honest, Marvel isn't in the same position it was during the Infinity Saga. The box office just isn't what it used to be. I mean, looking at some of these movies, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't know how to pronounce it, Quantumania really underperformed. I mean, the CGI was so horrible. I don't even know what I was looking at. Looking at Captain Marvel's movie, The Marvels, that one was really boring and just, I don't know, understand what's happening. They're teleporting around in space. Yeah, something's happening. While some of these movies had a divided fan reception, like The Eternals, which I thought was a really solid movie, but it got like mixed reviews. Thor Love and Thunder was a big miss in my opinion. It really didn't feel like a serious superhero was at the center of the movie. But also you have to think about something called superhero fatigue. After all those years of non-stop releases where you've had so many awesome movies, then there's a bit of a dip which has caused a lot of fatigue with people. For Secret Wars to succeed, it needs to win back fans who have sort of checked out. It needs to feel fresh, exciting, and essential, and not just another big crossover for the sake of it. The Avengers Doomsday factor. Before we even get to Secret Wars, Marvel is releasing Avengers Doomsday, a movie that will introduce Doctor Doom as the MCU's next major villain. Oh, I'm sort of dying here. And here's where things get a bit tricky. Avengers Doomsday is essentially a test run for Secret Wars. If it flops, excitement for Secret Wars could really plummet. Think about it. If Doom isn't received well, fans won't be excited for his bigger role in Secret Wars, which he probably will have. And if the movie underperforms financially, Marvel could face massive rewrites and last-minute changes. And if audiences don't feel invested, then Secret Wars could already be doomed before it even begins. Do you see what I did there? Doomed, Doctor Doom. I think a good example here is the ending of Infinity War. At the end of that movie, it was like the biggest cliffhanger of all time. So everyone was just waiting patiently. I couldn't sleep at night. That's how big the excitement was in the air. So Marvel needs Avengers Doomsday to win back trust. If it delivers a compelling villain with high stakes and an engaging story, then Secret Wars has a much better shot at success. But if it follows the same missteps as a recent MCU project, it could poison the well before the big event even happens. Poison the well. I really like that I included that phrase. Well, speaking of Avengers Doomsday, we sort of get to Doctor Doom, the villain problem. Can Doctor Doom carry the MCU? A great Marvel movie needs a great villain. Thanos was a masterclass in long-term storytelling. He was built up over multiple movies before his big moment in Infinity War and Endgame. And for a while, it looked like Kang the Conqueror was set to be MCU's next big bad guy. But that plan had a couple of problems. His debut in Ant-Man and the Wasp was, I don't want to say underwhelming. Maybe it has to do with that movie as a whole being underwhelming. But the character also had some behind the scenes controversies. And when I say character, I mean the actor, who had some legal issues back in the day. I don't know if they're resolved. Let's do a quick Google search. Well, my research lasted for like 10 seconds because I don't really care. But anyway, fans weren't also as hyped for Kang as they were for Thanos, which is understandably because Thanos was built over multiple years, while Kang was sort of introduced in a really bad movie. Anyway, now when Marvel is sort of changing the course and bringing out one of the biggest villains in comic history, Doctor Doom, and him being played by Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, will definitely give the MCU a chance for retribution. This is a huge move for Marvel. Not only does it bring back one of the most beloved actors in the MCU, but it completely reshapes Secret Wars. In the comics, Doctor Doom played a central role in the Secret Wars storyline, becoming a near omnipotent god by seizing control of reality itself. And before Secret Wars, we're getting Avengers Doomsday, where Doom, played by previous Iron Man, will take the center stage as the main villain. If Marvel builds him up properly, Doctor Doom could be the next Thanos level threat, and maybe even bigger. But the question remains, can they do him justice? If Doom is mishandled, if his motivations aren't compelling, or if it's just a nostalgia gimmick, bringing back Robert Downey Jr., then Secret Wars could really fall apart. So, how do we wrap this up? Well, can Marvel pull this off? Avengers Secret Wars has the potential to be the biggest movie event in superhero history. Maybe. Second biggest, probably. But it's also a massive risk. Can it live up to the Endgame legacy? Can it fix the MCU's multiverse mess? Can it bring back audiences who have lost interest? Can it balance nostalgia with strong storytelling? Can it deliver a villain worthy of such a massive event? These are the most important questions that need to be asked, sort of screaming there, but also answered by the MCU production. Because if Doomsday fails, Secret Wars could be in serious trouble before it even gets started. But if Marvel pulls this off, it could revive the MCU and cement its dominance for another decade. But if it fails, it could mark the end of the golden age of superhero movies. Anyway, like and subscribe for more. Peace out.